My name is Shannon Beach, and I'm a recent graduate of Code Louisville's front-end development track. To complete graduation requirements, we had to complete coursework through Treehouse, an online program, and also complete our own web project. Let's have a look at mine now.
For my project, I created a central location website of all of the classic cartoons. So it doesn't matter if it was created by Disney or Warner Brothers or Hasbro or whoever, all of the classic cartoons are now in one spot. So the site is fully responsive. You can see we have our little hamburger menu up here. You can see our middle image here gets bigger and goes down. The site was created using HTML5, CSS3, JavaScript, and a little bit of Bootstrap. So over here we just have our site logo, and then we have our navigation bar. It has a drop down for our individual cartoon pages, our showcase pages. So we have Darkwing Duck, DuckTales, Flintstones, Ninja Turtles, Scooby-Doo, and Smurfs are featured on the site at the moment. Over here we have our login button, which was created using a modal with JavaScript. So you can log in or sign up. So log in, you have your username, your password, and a forgot password option, because I am actually terrible about remembering my passwords. And then a sign up function. So enter your name, email address, password, and register to sign up and become a member of the site. In the center of our homepage here, we have a scrolling image. This is actually created using transitions in CSS. So our individual scenes here, the first couple on the end, actually match what's on the end on this side, and then transitions slowly move it across the screen. So when it gets ready to start over, our front images and our back images kind of blend together over here off to the side, so you can't really tell where the loop starts and when it ends. Next is our About page. The layout on this page was created using Bootstrap's grid system. I like Bootstrap's grid system. It just keeps everything nice and neat and organized relatively simply. Over here you'll notice we have some rotating images. These were created using a list of images in HTML and then a JavaScript function that rotates through each image. And as you'll see in a minute, they rotate up here and then more images appear down here. I use that technique just to keep the page from being too static, so sometimes they're up here, sometimes they're down there, keeps it from being too boring. And it switches up the images, so it's not going on forever up here and just a bunch of images. And then using the list items in HTML, instead of doing it all in a JavaScript array, was used because if JavaScript doesn't load for some reason, or they have Java disabled, they can still have images here and here to be seen without, seeing a bunch of big empty blank space. On our form page, we have a carousel up here at the top, created using Bootstrap's carousel functions. So we can click through, or it will rotate through. The information up here at the moment is just information about upcoming events and movies and such. And then down here we have our forum section, where different announcements, you can see it just rotated through. Anyway, we have different announcements, news, anything you could possibly want to talk about cartoon related would be down here. We have our contact page. This page was created using a basic form in HTML and a submit button. So if a user wanted to suggest a feature they would like to see on the site or a cartoon they would like to see featured, they can leave a comment and submit. And now for the heart and soul and fun stuff of this site, our cartoon pages. So every page has the show's logo at the top. And then we have a video modal, and we used glyph icons to represent the video and the audio here. So if you click on the button, the modal pops up so you can watch directly from here without having to go to another screen. You hit play and the episode will start playing.
Whoa, I wouldn't want to meet that guy on a camping trip. At least not without...
We also have a subscribe button to subscribe directly to the YouTube channel. So if you're ever on YouTube doing something else and decide you want to watch some Darkwing Duck or some DuckTales, you don't have to search them out, you're already subscribed. Over here we have some audio. Plays the theme song of the shows, so you can listen to the theme song while you're checking out the rest of the page. We'll turn that off for now while we explore what's down here. So down here we have character images of different characters or scenes from the shows. These were laid out using Bootstrap's grid system. Again, just for nice and neat simplicity. These are also buttons, so when you click on one, you have a popover that tells you interesting information either about that particular character or about the show in general. Like this one says that Drake Mallard's occupation was never mentioned, information about him in particular. And then this one tells us that a few episodes were actually banned because of their plots. So, information about the show in general. Now let's have a look at the code. So first we'll look at our index page. So you can see we've called in our CSS, Bootstrap, and all that good stuff. And we get to our navigation, basic navigation layout right here, nothing too fancy or special going on. And then we have our scrolling image slideshow. So we've used some IDs here just to call our slideshow, and then the code to move this is actually in a CSS file, scroller, CSS. It's a fairly long lines of code here, about 77 lines moving this across the screen. So it's in its own separate file just for organization purposes. As you can see, we've set our height, we've set our position, we've hidden our overflow. So that's what hides the little things on the side where you can't see it. And then we've set some opacity. And we're moving it slowly across the screen at about 20 frames per second. And then we're calling some translate functions here just to move it across the screen slowly from right to left. Alright, on our About page, here we have the list of rotating images. So here is our first list in an ID called rotating item wrappers. And we have our list of images. And then down here we have our second list of images. And then we have our rotator.js function over here in our JS file. That actually where we set the fade in and how long the images are going to show, and we set their fade out time, and then we rotate infinitely through the images. Again, separate file just for organization purposes. And then we have our video. So here we're calling our code for our video modals that appear on the cartoon pages. So we have it fade in, we have an ID of video modal, we give it a button to close it out, we give it an iframe and set our height and width and our link to our YouTube channel. And up here, a little further up, we have our audio. So pretty basic on the audio, nothing fancy going on. We just have basic controls and our MP3 file being sourced in. And then we have our popovers. You can see we have popover, we set our titles, we set our placement to be at the bottom, and then we have our content coming in there, and then we've made it into a button with an image for the button. So that's all of the pretty special fancy parts of the code, or the main parts of it anyway. And we have, let's see, here it is. some customized media queries, just adjusting margins and width of a few different items to make it look a little better as it scales up and down. And our cartoon pages, every page pretty much has the same basic layout, as you can see. So we have, show logos, video, audio, and images at the bottom. And this concludes the tour of the site.
The next steps for me include diving deeper into JavaScript, learning backend, and finding the right front-end development opportunity. Again, my name is Shannon Beach, and thank you for your time.